Savvy Central Radio, drawing out the best from our guest, with your host, Christina Nichman.
If you are an American and concerned about your family's health and safety, you'll not want to miss Savvy Central Radio's live interview and film screening with Dr. Gregory A. Smith, MD, producer of American Addict 2, taking place this November 6th and 7th. American Addict 2 digs deeper into the world of corruption, politics, and pharmaceutical greed. Tickets are limited for this private viewing, live interview, and Q&A, so get your tickets today while they last at bit.ly/AmericanAddict2. This is your host, Christina Nichman. Each week, Savvy runs weekly broadcasts providing entrepreneurs and successful individuals a platform to express their dreams, hopes, lessons learned, expertise, and wisdom with the world. Our guest today is Emily Filloramo. She is a Be More Extraordinary magician. Emily's childhood struggles, her passion, and her ability to counterbalance a career in pharmaceuticals with her expertise as a holistic nutritionist heightened her proficiency as an inside-out transformational expert. Today, Emily joins us to share details into her new book, How to Permanently Erase Negative Self-Talk So You Can Be Extraordinary. Find out more about Emily at bemoreextraordinary.com. Also, get free access to Emily's Erase Negative Self-Talk steps at nonegativetalk.com. Hi, Emily. Welcome to Savvy Central Radio. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on your show, Christina.
Well, I'm happy to have you out here. You're going to talk about a very interesting subject that comes up for all of us. I mean, how many times have we been having a negative self-chatter going on in the back of our mind without even realizing our life isn't really reflecting the life we want. And you're going to talk about your journey, what led you to becoming an entrepreneur and writing your new book that touches on this very subject, how to permanently erase negative self-talk so you can be extraordinary.
I know, right? That's a mouthful.
Yeah. So tell me, how did it all come about for you?
Wow. If you told me 5 years ago that this is where I was going to be today, I would say, what? So what happened was I spent 27 years selling pharmaceuticals for a big pharmaceutical company. And 3 years ago, in 2011, I was laid off, just like blindsided. I thought I was going to make it through, but I thought I was going to make it through just another couple of years before I get my big fat pension. Well, that never happened. And so, you know, a lot of us have gotten laid off from corporate America. And of course we, you know, get depressed a little bit and then saying, what are we going to do in our next steps? Try to find another job, which is what I tried to do for 5 months. And nobody wanted to hire me because I was 49 years old. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these people that were interviewing me were much younger. And it's like, what do I want to do with an old person with too much experience for? So it was the seed that my financial advisor had actually planted in my brain. Right after I was laid off, he called me into his office and he says, Emily, can you just stop looking for another job? Can you just go do something on your own? You know, I've known you for 20 years and you have all the chops to be an entrepreneur. And so I said, really? That never, ever, ever crossed my mind. I thought I was just going to, you know, do the corporate girl thing and then somebody's going to give me a big fat retirement check. Mm-hmm. And thinking that, oh, you know, I'll figure something out afterwards. Well, you know what? The universe had bigger plans. And so the lesson there is, you know, when one door closes, you have to be open to the idea that a better door is on the other side. And it's not going to materialize right away. It's not going to happen in 6 months of you having this 2x4 hit over your head, because the universe only rewards you if you take inspired action and if you do not have fears, insecurities, or negative self-talk.
Wow. And that's huge. I can totally relate, Emily, to your story. I was in corporate America for 20 years in finance, and I was going through 5 companies in 4 years were downsizing, letting me go. And I was lucky in that I would immediately find a new job. But by the 4th job in 5 years, I'd about had it. I was like, I cannot get back out there and look for another job and be at the bottom, work my way up in a new company where I have to prove myself. And my boss said to me what your financial advisor said, hey, you've done this for 20 years. You'd be awesome as a business owner doing this for yourself. And I misunderstood and thought, well, okay, this will be a piece of cake. And what's interesting that you're mentioning is that it's not something that shows up automatically or immediately. And I expected immediate results and success, and it didn't happen like that. And so for anyone who's going through maybe leaving corporate America, they're starting their business, they're not having success, but they are actually doing something they're very happy with. Where can they start to look to realize, is there negative self-chatter going on that's preventing me from living my dreams? Where do they start?
Yes. Well, the easiest way to do this is really imagine yourself driving the bus of your life to somewhere really awesome. But the thing is, you can't drive your bus to where that destination is unless you have something plugged into your GPS. Because a lot of times people spin around in circles. They're okay, let me just collect my paycheck, my comfortable benefits, not thinking, what is it that they want in their relationships, in their health, in their money issues, and in their joy, whatever it is. And so we have to plug in that GPS. And when I plugged in that GPS, that when I jumped in as an entrepreneur, I launched as a nutritionist first because that's what I studied in college. It made sense. But I found out that 6 months into it, I hate coaching nutrition clients because they weren't, I got tired of telling people how to eat green beans and drink green smoothies because they weren't addressing the real issues, which were the emotional scars that are underneath all of the bad eating habits. They know how to eat well. They just don't want to do it. And when you don't want to do it, so this is the negative self-talk. When you don't want to do it, because even if you shrink down 3 sizes and you're looking at that person in the mirror and you're like, I should be feeling better and happier with fitting into my skinnier jeans, but how come I'm not? And then,
yeah. Why not? Why aren't they happier?
If they're not happier because they are not addressing, there are parts of us that are stuck in the past. These are the parts of us that are on the brakes of our life. So we're trying to push forward. Let's say we plug into the GPS that we want better health, or we want a better relationship, that we don't repeat the same pattern, or we want to make more money, or we want to get promoted to vice president. Whatever it is, you're trying to push on the gas pedal of your life forward, and you're not going very far because there are these parts of you that are on the brakes. They're like, it's a big cinder block that is on the brakes of the bus of your life. And you feel like it's like your 4-year-old self driving the bus, that 4-year-old that maybe your parents divorced, and a 4-year-old has no idea what divorce means. Mommy and daddy no longer live together, and why did I cause this? I must be bad. I must not be lovable. I must not be enough. So even something like that 4-year-old, if you have never addressed it, sure, you may have addressed it in psychotherapy, but if you haven't released the burdens that this 4-year-old took on, I'm not enough. Who do I think I am? See, I was bad enough that I caused the divorce. Whatever it is, that's the origins of negative self-talk.
And so your book delved into the internal family system psychotherapy approach, and that's what I think you're touching on right now, where you actually go back and say, okay, what is it, the underlying causes of what's causing me not to live the life I want to live?
Yes. And everything is about those parts of you that are on the brakes of your life. The part of me that's afraid of success. The part of me that's afraid of shining my light. The part of me that's afraid to fail. The part of me that doesn't think I deserve it. And the part of me that bites my nails. All these bad habits we have. Part of me that procrastinates. Part of me that is like so addicted to work, shopping, alcohol. A lot of us women, we have those shopping parts that go into extreme. We're shopping to soothe emotional pain. And so those are the parts of us that needs to be addressed. And so the other point I wanted to make was, because I didn't have this negative self-talk, because I had done my own healing back 10 years ago when, the emotional burdens from my past had come to a head, and I ended up in a 1-year battle with depression. And because that healing was done many years ago, when I launched into the journey of entrepreneur, I knew failure was not an option, and I knew I could succeed. I just did not know how. I plugged in the goals in the GPS, first as a nutritionist. Well, that didn't work out. And then a number of things happened where I was at the right place at the right time because the universe was showing me where I needed to go. I didn't know why I was going to certain networking meetings. I just trusted that I needed to meet certain people. And that's exactly what happened. And so me wanting to get out of the nutrition space, I led into this other journey of becoming the Be More Extraordinary magician, because I met somebody that needed help, and he ended up being my guinea pig to go through this process. And I saw the power of erasing negative self-talk, fears, and insecurities, using this model of healing where we get to know the parts of you that don't believe you deserve success, the parts of you that procrastinate, the parts of you that eats too much, the parts of you that's afraid to pick up the phone and network or whatever it is. You start with your whole protective system. The part of you that gets angry, the part of you that shops too much, eats too much, drinks too much, whatever it is. Even the part of you that picks your nails or bites nails, all those things you have to befriend and get to know, because they're protecting a vulnerable part of you underneath that. And these are the very parts that are on the brakes of the bus of your life.
And I heard you mention that while you were staying open, there were certain things not working in your life. You took the lead from inspiration you were getting that says, as you say, the universe was telling you, go here, and you felt there, okay, I'm being led to meet certain people or go to certain events. What brought it about for you to start to realize what some of your wounded parts were, and how did you start to heal them for yourself?
So my wounded parts were, it happened 10 years ago in my early 40s when a situation triggered me into blaming this other person for my anxiety, panic, depression. And it was all because of my past that I had swept under the rug. That I thought, I'm over. I'll just overachieve. I'll just decorate myself in designer clothes, make sure my house looks perfect so that nobody knows that I was that shame little Asian girl that nobody wanted to be friends with, that couldn't get dates, and that felt ugly, et cetera, et cetera. So I swept all of that under the rug. I became an overachiever and made good money when I got into pharmaceutical sales, and just forgot about it. And then, of course, when you don't address the past, these parts of you are still stuck. They're waiting for you to rescue them. And so 10 years ago, this situation was a trigger to get me into the depression. And then the very first time that I saw the psychiatrist, she's like, I'm going to give you some Zoloft to take the edge off, but I'm not going to do any of this healing. Because this situation, what is it reminding you of from the past? This toxic situation that you're in. At first I thought, what is this lady, crazy? It's this guy's fault for making me so depressed. And she's like, So then the light bulb went off immediately. And that was, oh my gosh, this is reminding me of one of my most toxic things that I witnessed at home, the fighting between my mom and my dad. And then she sent me to a healer that had me reparent all of these, the younger parts of me. And it wasn't exactly internal family systems, that modality, but it was so similar. So that when I ended up in this space 10 years later in this, as a Be More Extraordinary magician, I said, oh my gosh, that incident was exactly supposed to happen in the way that it did 10 years ago. I was in a lot of pain, but I would not be a Be More Extraordinary magician had I not gone through all of my painful childhood, all of the struggles that I had in adulthood, and that depressive episode. Because I connected the dots of my life looking backwards, realizing that the universe gives all of us purposely the negative events of our lives for the evolution of our souls. And it's up to us to make lemonade out of the lemons of those events.
Yeah. They're blessings in disguise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's interesting. And so there's been a lot of advice about visualizing your goals, but very few people who do that technique actually see their goals manifest. Now, you seem to have done it quite well. Tell our audience a little bit about how you came to, in such a short amount of time, manifesting your awesome book, your practice. How did it come about for you so quickly?
The advice that I could give everybody is, when you are in alignment with the energy of your true self, when you have come home to your true self by loving all of the parts of you, doing the inner work to heal all those parts of you, and releasing the shame, the shame and the fears and the apathy, because those are all energies those stuck emotions and feelings because of these young parts of you that are still stuck in memories of rejection and discrimination and fears and blame and getting bullied by your peers and mom and dad neglecting you. All of those parts of you, because they're still stuck in the past, they're holding on to bad energies. And if they're not released, people can sense that around you, because we are all energy. And those energies are composed of your thoughts and your feelings. And those thoughts and those feelings are a function of whether or not we are madly in love with ourselves. Because we become madly in love with madly in love with ourselves when we do the healing work of rescuing and unburdening those parts of us that have been holding on to, I'm not lovable, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy. And when you release those energies, and then you connect the thoughts of your life looking backwards and making sense out of how these negative experiences have helped you to grow, that is when you appreciate every negative experience and you release it all, and then your energy through which you show up, that vibration of who you are, rises. And when that vibration goes up and you resonate with that energy of love and life and happiness, that energy is going to attract your opportunities, because that's like a radio signal. It's like, okay, who else is like impressed with this energy? Who else has this? I want to meet a better boyfriend, a better girlfriend with better energy, or I want more business opportunities. People want to do business with people who are happy with themselves, people who have that positive energy. And so if you don't do the inner work to release the bottom level energies, the negative energies, the dark cloud, whatever you want to call it, heaviness, then you're not going to be able to attract the people and the opportunities that you need for your success. So it's my energy of believing in myself and knowing that I have a higher purpose in transforming the planet with the gifts that I've been given. And I found those gifts through all of the negative experiences. So it's the energy, showing up the energy of my most authentic self that ended up materializing a book deal in 20 minutes, talking to a total stranger at a reception in New York City.
Wow. That is really heavy and so on target, in that I think we often look outside ourselves. If I just get a bigger deal, if I just meet the right person, if I do more stuff, we're all about doing, more texts, more emails, more this, without realizing that really it's sometimes just stop. Go within and figure out what are you feeling right now. If you're feeling negative emotions, go with it. Why are you feeling those negative emotions? What's going on there? And so really, from what I'm getting from you, it's really an inside job.
Yes. It's because if you want your life to change, you have to change. Your energy has to change.
I totally get it. I totally get where you're coming from. So many people want to improve the quality of the people they surround themselves with, and they have a hard time finding that new circle of better people. And like you had mentioned, when you start to really, really love yourself and accept all the parts of yourself, I'm guessing you start attracting different sort of people. Explain that a little bit, how that works.
You are, Jim Rohn famously said, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with. And we're energetically attracted to other people like us. And so if you don't have the life that you want, if you don't have the awesome friends, maybe you're in a group where people are just always like, they don't have much going on, and you are meant for bigger things. Well, what are you doing about it? Are you going out and joining networking groups? Are you going out to actually meet people in person? Because online can only do so much. You have to go out and meet people. And a lot of people are not comfortable with meeting people because oh my gosh, what am I going to say? Small talk, Wow, what are they going to think of me? So just stop. Those are all negative self-talk. That's because you don't feel good enough about yourself to understand, to understand and learn that when you are full of love for yourself, you have so much love to give away. And when you have love to give away, that means when you meet people, it's never about you. Please, if you've never read How to Win Friends and Influence People, the classic Dale Carnegie book, please, that is one of the most important books for success. Because you Yeah. Because you have to understand, you will get, when you get interested in people, you will make more friends in 2 weeks by getting interested in other people through questions. You will make more friends in 2 weeks than if you spent 2 years talking about yourself.
Wow, that is really, really huge. Others who have listened to the show for a while realize that it was initially started as a marketing tool for my financial business a couple of years back and transformed into its own entity. But what's interesting is it's also been my ongoing journey to learning about myself, growing as a person. And interestingly, I think about 6 or 7 months in, there were a couple of people I was really inspired by what they were doing in the business world and in life. And I felt they were way huger and better than I was. But I took a chance and decided to just ask them if they would come on my show. And because I love their work and I wanted to share with the audience and know more about them myself. And of course, they said yes. And in many cases, I get more yeses than I do no's from people. And now when people who come to me say, hey, I have a radio show and it's very small and it's just getting started and I would like to have some cool guests on, but what do I do to get top-notch guests on? I'm like, just ask. Be respectful. Have a curious nature and really want to know about them and just ask. I love that you mentioned that to really realize that you're just as good as someone else. Just don't make it about you. Make it about the other person and people will want to share with you.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of people have no capacity or have very little capacity to be interested in other people because the more wounded you are, the more you're self-absorbed. Because it's all those little parts of you. It's like, oh, no, you're going to think about me. Da, 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 da. So they don't know. Just like the narcissistically, people who are narcissistic, they have no empathy for you because they are very broken. So when you heal, when you understand, so like with my book, so many, How to Permanently Erase Negative Self-Talk, so many people have reached out to me and said, oh my gosh, I have so much compassion for my boss or my husband or whoever who's controlling jerk. Like, oh, now I get it. It's just a part of them that went into extreme because of all the emotional scars that they suffered.
That also allows you to really have a greater understanding of yourself, but also those around you. If they behave in a way that you don't particularly like, realize it's just their wounded parts.
Yes, it's just their wounded parts that went into extreme. And I know we don't have time, like in this show, to talk about the protocol of actually how erasing negative self-talk works. But I'm just going to send them to a quick URL where they could get a free download of what this protocol is all about.
Sure, go for it.
And it's nonegativetalk.com. If you just go to nonegativetalk.com, you'll be able to get a free download of this protocol, getting to know your protective system, how it protects you. And let's say, getting to know the part of you that procrastinates, or the part of you that gets angry, or the part of you that's sad, or the part of you that's afraid of success. So there's some easy steps to follow, starting to get to know this. And then you could always, if you want more information, more specific details to understand the whole model of how to heal using this very powerful psychospiritual healing model, then my book, How to Permanently Erase Negative Self-Talk So That You Could Be Extraordinary, will walk you through the development of this model and how this works. And there's lots and lots of stories in there. And you'll be able to see yourself in one of those stories. And you'll be able to get the awareness of, aha, this is what I need to do. Oh, I'm not a loser after all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, with all of your journey and now coming to a point where you've healed your wounded self, through all of your journey, what has been your greatest takeaway that you've learned?
That basically, that everything negative that happens to you is an opportunity for growth. And it's supposed to happen exactly in the way that it happens. You just don't know what the silver lining is at the moment, but just trust that eventually it will show up. So me going through depression 10 years ago, I kept saying to myself, I don't deserve this. Why me?
Yeah.
Right? We all go through, when bad things are happening to us. And now 10 years later, I know exactly why it happened. And so just trust. And it's up. The universe will reward you when you trust and make sense of it. And you just have to keep taking inspired action and find out what it is that you want to plug into that GPS. Yeah, you have to have something into the GPS of the bus of your life. If you don't have a real goal where you could taste it and feel it as if you're already living it, try to live that, try to imagine that life as if you were living it right now. And then just think, are there any parts of you that are thinking, who do you think you are?
Mm-hmm.
And if there is, or it's saying, you don't deserve this. Who do you think you are? Wanting to live this life of where you're hanging out with awesome people and changing the planet and making your mark in the world. If that's telling you got negative self-talk, and that energy will never have you reach that destination. And you have to do the inner work.
Yeah. Yeah. It starts with you and realizing that visualization is great. I've heard that the brain actually, when you're visualizing and actually feeling and using all of your senses, the brain can't tell that it's not real.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that is an awesome tool, visualization, but it has to be met with going in there and figuring out what those self-talk and negative blocks are so that they're not stopping you from living that in real life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even some of the opportunities I'm in the middle of now, I visualized it 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it got downloaded to me. And sometimes I would just say, ooh, where did this come from? Mm. And I just and I liked it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. We'll put it aside. And there weren't any parts that said, no, that's never going to happen. No, I just trusted the process. Even getting the book deal 2 weeks prior, I wrote in my journal, writing a book in 2014 is a top priority. Mm. Because my clients kept saying, you got to write a book. You got to write a book. So I was like, then I don't know how this is going to get done. I don't know how to publish a Kindle. Oh. Yeah. 2 weeks later, I'm in New York City at a reception with 100 people. And what were the chances that I was going to be standing next to a publisher in a room full of people? Mm-hmm. And so that's just showing you, and that didn't happen by accident. So when you believe in the destination that you have plugged into that GPS, the universe will work its magic. You don't know why you're taking the train to whatever city, but just trust something is going to happen.
Yeah. And you made a really good point, Emily, in that if you don't eliminate or deal with the blocks inside and negative self-talk, I just heard a lecture yesterday where someone said you'll be having those glasses on that are blocking you from seeing the opportunities because those blocks will prevent you from seeing the opportunities that are standing right in front of you. In your case, you could have been in that really crowded room standing next to that publicist and not struck up a conversation because of those blocks, had you not cleared those wounded parts of yourself.
Exactly. I was just at the right, this is a crowded room with a bunch of people, and he just happened to stand next to me. I turned around, he started yakking with me. I had no idea who this person was. He had no idea who I was. At the end of 20 minutes, again, he bought my energy.
That's right. Absolutely.
Because he says, I'm taking on all the risk to publish this book. I love what you're doing. I love your passion. I know you're here to make a difference in the world. And I'm going to take on all the risk. It's going to be my money that's going to, print these books. Just get me a book proposal in a couple of days. That's all.
Fabulous.
And I'm just like, what?
Yeah, I know. It can happen for you too, guys listening in.
Exactly. It can happen. Magic happens when you believe in yourself.
Yes. Well, it's been so extraordinary having you out here today, sharing your book, How to Permanently Erase Negative Self-Talk So You Can Be Extraordinary. And you're at bemoreextraordinary.com, correct?
Yes, I'm at bemoreextraordinary.com, but in order to get to that protocol where they could download it for free, go to nonegativetalk.com.
Fabulous.
That'll bring you to my website. It's a hidden page on my website, but you're going to be able to get the download at nonegativetalk.com.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for that awesome gift.
Okay, great. And one last thing, if there's anybody that wants to personally talk to me about quantum leaping their life, just go to talktoemily.com and you could get a hold of me there. Just fill out a little form, and then we'll see if it's a fit to just for me to have a conversation with you. That's
great. Yeah, because not everyone fits everyone, vice versa, but it's great. So it allows everyone to get a chat with you, see if you both fit. And I thank you, Emily, for sharing your wisdom and talent today on Savvy Central Radio.
Thank you so much, Christina, for having me on the show.
Join our mailing list today by texting Savvy Radio to find out about upcoming guests and events and receive a free gift, how podcasting can help increase sales and influence in your business.
Savvy Central Radio is home to over 100,000 listeners per month globally and runs in syndication on 8 AM and FM platforms, including iHeartRadio and 6 podcasting platforms. To find out more about our paid sponsorship opportunities or to become a guest and find out how we can help you get your message out to the world, call 718 area code 713-2289 or email at savvycentralradio@gmail.com.